So Snow White is a disaster.
No.
Obviously, there are so many things. There are so many angles we could look at this from, and we could talk about this because there's news after news after news. So this one, for instance, Disney put Snow White tickets on sale just 10 days before it's released. That's pretty bad. That
Wow.
that's pretty bad. But then it's also the amount of screens that AMC is showing, right? That's pretty bad as well. It's tiny amounts of screens, which is not good. I mean, that's Disney Springs in Orlando, Florida. It's an AMC Disney Springs, and it's not. I mean, these are the showings. It's not a lot. That's not a lot at all. Here's the amount of people that are booked in. That's not a lot. Big screen as well. But that's not
terrible.
a lot. That's pretty goddamn bad.
Yeah.
And again, there's so many different avenues. This is more of a, we've got some other things to show you as well, but this is more of a conversational piece than anything today because there's so much news. Even I might, miss some of it. So there's this. This is a disaster. This is not good. This shows Disney has absolutely no faith in it. And then this goes a step further at showing that Disney has absolutely no faith in this movie, or no faith in the Zeg not, ruining everything by opening her mouth. So Disney has scaled back the Hollywood premiere of Snow White. They're not inviting journalists. There's no media. The only media that there is photographers. Why even have it?
Wow.
This is mental. So this is all confirmed, right? So it says the afternoon festivities will include a pre-party and screening at the El Capitan Theatre with Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot. However, the red carpet will not include the dozens of media outlets usually invited by Disney to interview the cast and creatives at its premieres. Instead, coverage will be limited to photographers and a house crew, Disney crew. So everything can be vetted and cleared properly. This is mental. I don't think they've ever done this before for what should be a blockbuster. It's not going to be, but it could have been. So this is them absolutely knowing that it's garbage. They have no faith in it. Again, from multiple angles, we can see this here. Anyway, every single trailer disliked to oblivion. They've even released some acoustic versions of the songs. They're being disliked to oblivion. It's a ticking time bomb, hence the title of the video. What do you guys think? Go to you, Culture, first, I reckon.
Well, look, okay, so the bare minimum days that you usually put pre-sales out is 10. Normally for a blockbuster film or something they really want to get some love for that has, a groundswell of support, this will be out month to 6 weeks in advance. It just depends, right? Disney took the least possible days and did that with pre-sales. Nobody expects us to earn any money. The projections have gone down. They haven't gone up. They aren't putting effort into it. I think they have 4 total screens at the theaters you were showing in Orlando. If you look around the country, it's similar at some of the higher end theater complexes for the chains. My local, I have no trouble sitting dead center anywhere in any of the theaters where this is running because there's no tickets being sold. Again, this is all anecdotal, but if you have all these anecdotes and they're from all across the country, you pretty much have a story, a trend, an idea what's going to happen. I have to go see this. I'm going to review it. It's going to get every bit of my bile. And I have very low expectations. If this thing makes $50 million, congratulations. That's probably the best you could expect. And internationally, I don't expect it to do well either. I'm just saying they're pulling back, as you pointed out, with the press junkets and everything else. They just pulled the reins on everything, meaning that this is not a horse they expect to run. So yeah, I'm actually working on a video about this myself with a little bit different perspective. But when you look at this and how it's expected to perform, I don't have high hopes for it. What about you, Nick? You thinking positive thoughts here?
Yeah, have all kinds of positive thoughts on this. This thing's gonna do gangbusters kind of numbers. No, this is gonna be a total shit show, and I'm here for it. Unfortunately, I'm gonna go watch this piece of garbage too, but I'm not paying for it. I actually got a hookup to where I get to go see it for free. So Disney
Hey,
won't be getting any of my money for me
hey,
to go
well,
see this.
thank Mexican Iron Man for that.
I don't know if he's gonna go see it or not.
Oh,
I'll be back home by the time this comes out, so
mm.
I'll be going by myself. But none of this is surprising to me, actually. They know, like everybody else knows, that this is a DOA, and they're going to lose a crap ton of money on it. This is just going to be
Mm.
another failed Disney project, and I, I don't know at what point in time they finally self-reflect and say, "Hey, maybe it's time we make a change here." People aren't liking the direction we've been going for years and years and years. With Marvel, Star Wars, this kind of crap right here. Uh, I don't know if they're ever gonna turn it around with who's running things over there, with Iger over there and that board and KK and the whole band of idiots over there. But yeah, none of this is surprising. I'll be surprised if after 2 weeks the screenings for this for screens that it's showing on is not cut in half. But I don't know. I don't know what the contract is with them for. I don't know how long movie theaters are going to be forced to keep the because it culture isn't. Don't they have some sort of contract deal when they put new movies like this in where they have to keep them on like a certain amount of screens for a certain amount of time or something?
Well, Disney contracts always come with a contract for the length. So oftentimes, like that's one of the reasons Star Wars ran for like 114 weeks or something. It's the same
Yeah.
reason why you're going to have this film in there for a minimum run. The question is, what theaters does it have to be in? The premium theaters, or are they allowed to move it? A lot of those details, are contract to contract or location to location. I have a feeling that with the bigger chains, it's a set deal. So they probably have to have this in theaters in quality locations for 6 weeks would be my guess, and 3 it would be the absolute minimum I would say.
Yeah, it's gonna get to a point in a very short period of time after this is released, I'm sure, where they are showing this movie on screens where nobody is in the theater. You guys remember that story about the theater that caved in for Captain America 4 Brave New World, but nobody was injured because nobody was in the theater watching the movie.
Yeah,
Mm.
So I think this is gonna be very similar, but I think this is gonna do even worse than that movie.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Those are
So it's
just my
6
quick thoughts
weeks.
on
I
it.
was just taking a look to see it. 6 weeks
6 weeks. Yeah.
from no, wait. It's 6 weeks from Snow White's release to the Thunderbolts. So they must have a contract for 6 weeks.
Yeah, that'd
It
be my
must be a
guess.
6 week. It must be a
Mm,
6 week
mm.
contract because Disney are going to end up cannibalizing their own market when it comes to the Thunderbolts because they're going to want to minimize the theaters that are shown on with that are showing Snow White to then maximize Thunderbolts. So it makes sense that it's actually going to be a 6 week.
Dude, this
Just be 6 weeks.
this thing's toast, man. I'm just saying.
Oh, it's massively, massively bad. Like this is awful. I mean, the fact that it's so funny. You've hired someone that doesn't have a career. She's destroyed her career, Rachel Zegler. She's destroyed her career before it's even begun, right?
Yeah.
And you've hired someone that is so insufferable, you literally can't interview them now because you're afraid that they're going to say something. That's what Disney is not allowing interviews because they know that there's a chance she will say something that will tank the movie even further. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
how bad are you at your casting choices? Hey, here's a suggestion, Disney. Maybe, just maybe, you shouldn't have race swapped it. Because if you weren't constantly looking for a fucking Latina for this, you wouldn't have ended up with bloody Rachel Zegler, would you? There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
So that's
I
their
think-
fault. I mean, obviously
think-
it's their fault. But it's
I
just
think
funny,
that-
isn't it?
Yeah, but I think the race swap. I think you're right. I think the race swap on this one was the kill shot before it even got
just
started.
Yeah.
Dumb. Like, it's just so dumb. Snow White will hire a Latina. What?
An insufferable Latina.
An
Yeah.
insufferable Latina. But now we've got to change the origin of her name as well because we're tards. Like, it's so dumb. So dumb. And so egregious as well, just because it is just
Dumb.
yeah. Yeah. Oh, goodness me. And you know what? Like, I'll give her props. She does have a fairly okay voice. You know, I've watched those acoustic.
She does have a very okay voice. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's not my kind of singing. Like, I wouldn't, I find her still to be irritating, even when she sings, because mannerisms and stuff. But that's not enough to sell the movie. Like, people aren't going to watch her sing. They don't care about her singing. So that's the reason why I raised the voice thing, because like no one's going to care. But never mind.
It's funny that they whitewashed her in a lot of the promo material.
I know.
Like you hired this girl, and now in a lot of your promo material, you're whitewashing. Like,
They have
no
to.
sense.
This was so bad. I don't even. It doesn't make any sense to me. We've got a lot of member chats out there, and probably all along the same lines as what we're thinking. But when I look at her, I see failure because she has not had one winning film her entire career. Not one.
No.
None at all. None at all. Chaos is Fun has been a member for 14 months. Says, good evening, lords and ladies. I think the only successful thing linked to Disney's Snow Lord Farquaad Brown is the chat music vids. Yeah, they're good.
Oh god, yeah,
That's
they're
the best.
really funny.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
Great.
They're good times, guys. You want a good laugh? Chat music, Snow White trailer. Search it on YouTube. You'll thank me later.
It's pretty funny.
Israel R says, hello, Nate, Culture, and Nick. I think the new Snow Woke movie is a PR disaster and Disney should have scrapped it and moved on. And he also just says, real quick, is Cavill in production with both Voltron and Highlander? Cheers. Highlander's not in production, so no, just Voltron. Anything else to add to this absolute detritus that is this movie?
It's going to be glorious entertainment when this thing comes out. That's the only thing I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, yeah.
Is the disastrous train wreck that's going to be happening with this thing. It's gonna be good times.
Dear, oh dear. Well, there you go. We will move on from this. We've got some